start of the season always brings a certain level of excitement. But what we've seen from the New York Yankees in this opening series feels different, and you can sense that just by watching the way these games unfolded. This was not a team that relied on just one player, not a team that only waited for the home run ball, and not a team that won in only one style. What stood out the most in this series was the way they found multiple paths to victory, and that is something that makes a baseball team very dangerous over a long season. When a team can win with power, with pitching, with defense, and with situational hitting, that's when you start to believe that something special might be building. In the first game of the series, the offense showed that they don't need one single superstar performance to put runs on the board. The lineup produced runs from different spots, including the bottom of the order, which is something that often separates good teams from great teams. When the bottom of the lineup contributes, pitchers never get a break, and that creates pressure from the first inning all the way to the ninth. The Yankees managed to score multiple runs without depending entirely on the long ball, and that already set the tone for what this series was going to look like. Then in another game, we saw a different version of the offense. Instead of a big offensive explosion, they did just enough to secure the win. A timely home run here, a clutch hit there, and solid base running made the difference. That's the kind of baseball that wins tight games, especially against good teams. Not every game is going to be a blowout, and the ability to execute in close situations is what often decides who makes the postseason and who doesn't. But if there's one area that really stood out in this series, it was the pitching. The starting rotation looked sharp, confident, and in control. They attacked the strike zone, limited hard contact, and most importantly, they worked efficiently. When starting pitchers go deep into games, or at least control the pace of the game, it saves the bullpen and keeps the team in a strong position throughout a series. The Yankee starters didn't just survive their outings, they controlled them, and that's a big difference. The bullpen also deserves a lot of credit because relief pitching can make or break a team early in the season, especially when starters are still building their pitch counts. The relievers came into games and threw strikes, avoided walks, and forced hitters to earn everything. That kind of bullpen performance gives a manager confidence to make aggressive decisions late in games because he knows the arms coming out of the bullpen can hold the lead. Another important thing that stood out was the defense. Defense doesn't always show up in the box score the way home runs and strikeouts do, but it wins games quietly, making the routine plays, turning double plays, making smart throws, and positioning correctly all add up over a series. The Yankees looked sharp defensively, and when you combine good defense with strong pitching, you're going to win a lot of games, even if the offense has a quiet night. Base running was another small detail that made a big difference. Taking the extra base, stealing at the right time, and putting pressure on the defense forces mistakes. Even when a steal doesn't happen, the threat alone can distract pitchers and infielders. The Yankees were aggressive but controlled on the bases, and that's exactly the balance teams try to find. What makes the start of the season so impressive is not just that they won games, but how they won them. They showed they can win high-scoring games, low-scoring games, close games, and games where pitching dominates. That kind of versatility is what every team wants because over a long season you will face every possible situation. Teams that can only win one way usually struggle when that one strategy doesn't work. Another positive sign is that different players contributed in different moments. One game, it was the offense. Another game, it was the pitching. Another game, it was a key hit with runners on base. That balance makes the lineup and the roster feel complete. Opponents can't focus on stopping just one player because someone else will step up. You can also see confidence building when a team starts the season like this. Players look more relaxed at the plate, pitchers attack hitters more aggressively, and the defense plays faster and cleaner. Confidence in baseball is a huge factor because the season is very long, and teams will go through difficult stretches. Starting strong helps create momentum and belief inside the clubhouse. If this series showed anything, it's that this team might be more balanced than people expected coming into the season. The pitching looks strong, the bullpen looks reliable, the defense looks solid, and the offense can score in multiple ways. When you put all of that together, you start to see the foundation of a team that can compete at a very high level throughout the entire season. And the most impressive part is that this is just the beginning, and there is still room for improvement as the season continues and players get into their full rhythm. What makes this even more intriguing is how quickly this identity seems to be forming. Usually, in the early stages of a season, teams are still trying to figure out their rhythm, experimenting with lineups, testing bullpen roles, and adjusting to real game intensity after spring training. But what we're seeing here is a group that already looks comfortable in its structure. The roles feel defined, the execution feels intentional, and most importantly, the players seem to trust the system that is being built around them. One of the clearest examples of that trust comes from the bullpen usage. There is a noticeable confidence in how relievers are being deployed, especially in key moments. Instead of hesitation or uncertainty, the decisions feel direct and purposeful. When a reliever enters the game, there is no sense of panic or improvisation. They know exactly what is expected of them, and they are delivering. That kind of clarity is crucial, especially early in the season when games can easily slip away due to lack of cohesion. Another layer to this is the mental side of the game. Baseball is as much about mindset as it is about physical ability. The way this team is carrying itself suggests a strong mental approach. There is composure in tight moments, confidence in execution, and resilience when things don't go perfectly. Those qualities often separate teams that perform well in the regular season from those that can handle high-pressure situations later on. The consistency across different aspects of the game is what truly makes this performance stand out. It's not just one area carrying the team while others struggle. Everything is working together in a cohesive way. The pitching supports the offense, the defense supports the pitching, and the base running adds another layer of pressure. It's a complete style of baseball that is difficult to counter when it's executed well. As the season moves forward, the real test will be maintaining this level of play over a larger sample size. Early success is important, but sustaining it is what defines great teams. However, the foundation that has been established in this opening stretch suggests that this group has the tools to do exactly that. The balance, the execution, and the confidence all point toward a team that understands what it takes to win in different ways. And if this trajectory continues, the conversation around this team is only going to grow louder, because what they've shown so far is not just promising, it's a clear indication that they are building something that can compete at the highest level, regardless of the style of game they're forced to play on any given night. Another factor that really stands out when you watch this team closely is the tempo they are playing with. Baseball seasons are long and exhausting, and teams that start slow often spend months trying to recover. But when a team starts the season playing with energy, focus, and urgency, it often sets the tone for the entire year. The Yankees are not playing like a team that is still trying to figure things out. They are playing like a team that already understands its identity and knows exactly how it wants to win games. You can also see how communication on the field looks sharp. Cut-off plays are clean, infielders are clearly talking to each other, outfielders are positioning well, and pitchers and catchers look in sync. These small details might not show up in highlights, but they are the foundation of winning baseball. Teams that communicate well defensively prevent extra bases, avoid errors, and get out of innings faster. Over the course of a season, those small defensive moments can be the difference between winning and losing many games. Offensively, the approach continues to look mature and disciplined. Hitters are not trying to do too much in every at-bat. They're staying within their approach, taking walks when they're given, and putting the ball in play when they need to. That approach creates pressure on the opposing defense, because when the ball is constantly in play, mistakes can happen. Errors, bad throws, and misplays often come from teams being forced to make plays repeatedly under pressure. Another interesting thing is how different players are stepping up in different moments. That unpredictability makes the lineup much harder to game plan against. If one hitter has a quiet night, another one produces. If the middle of the lineup is pitched around, the bottom of the lineup find a way to get on base. This kind of lineup depth is extremely important because it prevents long offensive slumps where the entire team struggles at the same time. Pitching depth is also starting to look like a major strength. Not just the starters, not just the bullpen, but the overall number of arms that can contribute in meaningful situations. Over a long season, injuries and fatigue always become factors, so teams that have multiple reliable pitchers usually stay competitive longer. From what we've seen so far, the Yankees look like a team that has enough pitching depth to handle difficult stretches of the season. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. A wave of speculation is sweeping through the clubhouse corridors after Tony Vitello delivered a striking and somewhat contradictory message following the Giants' tense clash with the Yankees. Speaking with a tone that blended admiration and frustration, the manager's words have ignited rumors about deeper issues and possible changes within the team. Vitello praised what he described as a level of grit and fight that you can't teach, highlighting moments where the Giants showed resilience under pressure. Observers noted that his admiration appeared genuine, particularly when referencing younger players stepping into high-stakes situations with confidence. "There's something building here," he hinted, fueling belief that the squad's long-term trajectory remains promising. Yet, almost in the same breath, the manager pivoted sharply. His criticism cut through the optimism, pointing to lapses in focus and what he called unacceptable stretches of complacency. According to those present, the shift in tone was abrupt enough to raise eyebrows. Vitello stopped short of naming individuals, but made it clear that accountability would not be optional moving forward. This dual message has sparked quiet speculation among insiders. Some interpret the comments as a calculated move to challenge the roster publicly, a tactic often used to spark internal competition. Others believe it may signal underlying tension, possibly tied to leadership dynamics or dissatisfaction with execution in key moments. Around the league, whispers suggest that such pointed remarks, especially delivered so soon after an emotionally charged matchup, could be a precursor to roster adjustments or strategic shifts. While nothing concrete has emerged, Vitello's words have undeniably added intrigue to the Giants' current narrative. For now, the clubhouse remains outwardly composed, but the manager's statement lingers. Praise and criticism, delivered side by side, rarely happen without intent. Whether it was motivation, warning, or something more calculated, one thing is certain: the Giants are under a spotlight that extends far beyond the field. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.